Alright guys, I am so sorry to anybody that actually tried to watch yesterday's video. There was no audio, so yeah, that happened, but luckily it was on the weekend, so pretty much everything I said yesterday still applies to today, so I'll reuse some of that footage. And the reason that I didn't catch it real quickly and just re-upload it is because I was working on a meme music video actually over here on Twitter. If you guys don't follow me on Twitter, go ahead, check it out. I'm basically just bull posting meme coins that I own, so be aware of that. But yeah, this dude Doc Hollywood dropped a banger of a song that I just had to make an edit to, so I was grinding that out yesterday. So you know I gotta play like 30 seconds of it for you guys. Check this out.
Look, my future so bright, cousin. Pit Vipers on Kekasi, that's my cyber clone. We inside the zone. Balkendorf shit, yeah, we bout to torch shit. Set this thing on fire, all my coin going higher. Bitch, I mind coded, SPX loaded. Thanks, Murad. We taking off and you staying still, that's your bad. I think it's time to purchase some Sproto. Gremlins, we take a Bitcoin, we don't own no. Ceilings, CZ, chillin', we see billions, believe in something, I promise you, we not the villains. And Sam told me to buy Metaplex, so early on in PLX, like my parents haven't met yet.
But yeah, if you guys want to watch the rest of that, link is in the description down below. But just FYI, nothing on the Twitter's financial advice. So now what I want to do is give you guys the video that should have been uploaded yesterday. Also, I want to include some new information though, because I did see something on Twitter that was super bullish and may invalidate my base case that I've been talking about, and that's actually what yesterday's video was. A lot of going over the reasonings why Bitcoin could play out how I think it might, the break of all-time highs and then failure back within the range. But this chart makes me extremely optimistic. I mean, it's pretty clear. You can see it. I mean, this is a macro head and shoulders on the higher term time frames. Do I love pattern tradings? No, not necessarily, but I do love the concept of banging your head up against a resistance line multiple times, more likely to actually break the level and not just break it into a swing failure, but actually properly break the level. And if you guys don't realize by now, this is an inverted chart of Bitcoin. So let me jump over to Photoshop and actually uninvert this for everyone. So yeah, there you go. There's the actual Bitcoin chart. So this is very, very bullish in my opinion. I do think it's very possible it plays out like this, where we do break that upward sloping trend, and then once we've entered that price discovery fully, Bitcoin just kind of flies because it doesn't have any price action to hold it back, and we could definitely see $100,000 plus. That's always been a possibility, and I'm not rolling that out of the equation whatsoever, and I'd be super excited for this to actually play out. I just want to be conservative on this channel, so we're going to be very cautious as we see the euphoria return back into the markets, but just know I am seriously considering and open to the idea of us having a proper super cycle that lasts into the end of 2025, where Bitcoin goes into multiple six figures. Now I'm going to play you the video from yesterday. Pretty much all of it still applies except for this 12-hour bear div that I talked about, looking less and less like it is actually going to play out, which is kind of what I expected to happen. So here you go. Alright guys, welcome to the weekend. It's going to be just another bullish price action update, as I am still feeling really good about the charts, but there are also some warning signs that could signal a larger pullback here. So like I've been saying, don't be putting in leveraged longs right now. If anything, if you're going to leverage the market, you're shorting right now. We're at resistance. We're not at big support. Yes, we're starting to flip the resistance into support, but of course you got to take all probabilities into consideration, and there's definitely a chance we have a larger pullback here, as we have had during this uptrend. You can see from swing low to swing high, last impulsive move, we came down below the 0.5. If we were to do that again, if we were to draw this from swing low, swing high, you can see the 0.5s all the way back down here around this big point of control. We could definitely go test the $63,000 level once again, and it would still be a very bullish correction and something that would definitely be expected. Am I expecting it? No, and that's because we already flipped the value area high into support, and I do think Bitcoin is in honey badger mode. So I think if we do get any pullbacks, any flushes on long positions, that's exactly what it will be. It will be a liquidation flush, a quick wick to the downside that'll wick right back up. Not necessarily a substantial pullback, but we do have one sign that is telling us we could be looking for a substantial pullback, and that's the RSI, Relative Strength Index. You know, I love this thing for divergences, and you look at the higher term time frames on the 12-hour, and we do definitely have a 12-hour regular bear div, you know, coming in right there. We got some lower highs on RSI, higher highs on price. So we'll see if this does actually play out. A 12-hour time frame bear div would signal a larger move that would probably land us right around that $63,000. So it definitely makes some sense to me to have that pullback. but just on a level basis and knowing how much liquidity is up here, the thing we keep talking about, I do expect we're going to start hunting up, and we're going to start doing that pretty quickly. It is the weekend though, so don't expect anything crazy on the weekend, especially if we get a lot of longs piling up over the weekend. Don't be surprised if we do hunt those longs before heading back up to the potential all-time high target that we've been talking about. Also, let's talk about my base case that I keep saying, right? Of all-time highs and then Bitcoin fails after that. Got a comment yesterday, it's like, how does that make any sense? Because the altcoin market hasn't ran up. And the reason this cycle might be different than the last one or previous ones is because of monetary policy. We've had the Fed at very high interest rates, and they just now started cutting. That is very different than the top of other cycles. We also see inflation and consumer price index at very high numbers, whereas wages haven't moved up as much. So your average retail investor doesn't have as much money, and that's why I think your altcoins haven't ran as hard as they should be. I think if this was like 2021, where we had a bunch of stimulus checks and everybody was sitting in their homes, they're in this range right here, we would have seen a lot more altcoins going parabolic, but this time we just haven't. But we have seen a lot of stuff go parabolic. Meme coins have. And when you have meme coins skyrocketing, it signals that the top is near on Bitcoin. Once again, I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but I would say if we do break out here and we see some of these meme coins that have already ran up 100x do another 100x, then you got to be asking the question, is that the final rally? I do think we'll see a lot of altcoins pop off here, but it could be very quickly. As we've talked about, Total 3, when it runs quick. Like last cycle, once we started this impulsive move here on the altcoin market, it only took around 100 days to reach that final top, and I think we've already had half of the impulsive move done with for the altcoin market, right? We've already escaped the bear market, and yes, you could say this is an extended Wyckoff accumulation, breakout, backtest, and then go for a super cycle. I'm not ruling that out of the equation. This is just kind of giving my thesis as to why my base case is what it is, but I definitely get the point of, hey, this is going to last much longer than I'm anticipating, and I'm totally open for it. And that's why we're going to be very open-minded to the markets as we approach into all-time highs in the next coming weeks. If I don't see the warning signs I'm looking for, I'm not going to be selling. But if we are right here right now, which is where Bitcoin actually topped out and started to distribute at all-time highs, we really would only have roughly, let's just say, this is where you end the consolidation right there in March of 2021. You only have about 50 days until you reach the final top for the altcoin market. So if we were to just draw out from right now 50 days, you can see that lands us right at the start of December. So that's why I do believe we could see a big run up here in altcoins to maybe 100 trillion, $1.23 trillion market cap. Maybe we do break this all-time high in a very short amount of time, right? It could only take a couple months. And then the top comes in for the altcoin market, and then we fail into the bear market. And I don't think this is unrealistic to believe it is possible. So hopefully you guys can understand where I'm coming from with that. Cycles don't repeat, they rhyme, so it's very hard to predict what exactly they're going to do. I could be completely wrong in that we don't even make an all-time high and we just roll over into the bear market right now. I could also be wrong in the fact that we don't have a distribution structure up here and fail. We actually go ahead and just fly up to 100, 200, 300, 400, $500,000 Bitcoin. And I'm totally open to that. As we've discussed before, if this is going to be a true breakout, we should not fail back within to the range. You look at last cycle's all-time high break right here. Once we backtested that and escaped this range, you don't see any sort of swing failure distribution. It just flies, right? It just flies on up. And if we see this playing out, then I will be open to the idea that Bitcoin can march up much higher than many anticipate, and I'll be excited to let that play out. I'm not really strict on my position for Bitcoin. It's all just probabilities, and you got to plan for every situation, and that's why my first base case is going to be more conservative. I'm not going to have my base cases that we're going to $500,000 because I know there's a very good chance that does not play out. So I want to be positioned in the best way possible to where I'm not selling too early and I'm not selling too late. So that's the first main thing I wanted to cover in this video. Secondly, we'll touch on this, is the altcoin market. Looking over here at Total 3, we are continuing to respect the $620 billion market cap level as support. This is absolutely amazing to see. A nice double bottom on top, this very crucial volume level, and you can see just how well this is being respected right now, and this is making me very, very excited for the altcoin market. I do still think we're going to have a lot of exciting times here in the near term future. But if you do have any questions about anything I just talked about or just want to join the community for this channel, link to my Discord is in the description down below. Also have a VIP Discord, which I actually discounted more now, so it is 50% off for the first month. I'm doing this because I haven't been focused much on trading lately. I've just been really kind of in the meme coin market because we might have a potential super cycle in that space, and I want to position myself properly if Bitcoin is going to go into all-time highs and break out into this super euphoric moment. You're going to see a lot of meme coins around, but of course, you got to do a ton of research to actually understand that you are getting into good investments there. It is not easy to pick the needle out of the haystack in that marketplace, and you really have to have been in here since 2023 to understand which one of those projects, those meme coins, have actually been consistent in building throughout the past year. But yeah, if you do have any questions about like that meme coin stuff or anything crypto related, you can just ask me in the regular Discord. You don't got to pay for the VIP, but if you do want to talk to me in person, screen share, all of that good stuff, go over specific strategies, then yeah, feel free to sign up for that. It's the second link in the description down below. Also down below, you're going to see a bunch of exchanges. Those are all my exchange partners, so feel free to sign up using my referral link to get some nice rewards and bonuses. But with that being said, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.